Good morning, Stampers. Welcome to another Friday Live. I'm excited to be here today, and we're gonna craft something a little bit different. We're not making cards today, so you'll see that in a minute. First up, my name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and every Friday I come on and do a Friday Live, so I'm happy to be here to craft with you. Okay, so first up, we will draw for last week's winners. Winner. These are the projects that we created last week. Hey, Barb. So this is the one that I actually created live, and it's got a fun little surprise inside. So I'm gonna draw for the winners of that. And then I had shared this sample as well. And there's the inside of that too. So if you just look back on the Facebook post, if you missed this video, or you can check my blog, which is www.stamptreasures.com. You can always find the replays on there as well. And the way that you get entered to win the current week's projects is by commenting, whether you're watching it live or on the replay, or by sharing and sharing. You could do both. You get 5 entries for sharing the video, and you get 1 entry for every comment that you make. So feel free to ask questions along the road, along the way that we go, comment. I always love to see what you guys are thinking and answer your questions as we go. So I've got everybody's name in here who commented or shared the video from last week. And the winner is, oh my gosh, 2 weeks in a row, Kathy Lovell. So Kathy, I will get those cards to you. Let's see, we'll set those aside. Okay, now I just want to update my iPad so I can see your comments when I flip the screen around. There's always such a delay on here. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay. Good morning, Shara. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Leanne. Oh, this is your first time on, Leanne. Wow, that's awesome. Welcome. Okay, so I am gonna flip the screen around so that you guys can see what I'm going to be doing. Just bear with me for just a second. Okay, just give that a second to make sure it's all lined up properly. Okay, how does that look? I'm going to scoot us down just a little bit here. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Ugh, I hate it when the side is crooked. Okay, all right, let's get started here. Okay, so first of all, we are creating something a little bit different today. We're creating a little mini album. So no cards today, but it's a simple mini album that you could actually use in place of a card. And I'll explain a little bit later when I show you how I plan on using this. And we are using the beautiful Botanical Butterfly DSP, which is something that you can earn for free during celebration. So when you spend $60, then you can choose this item for free. So it's got beautiful butterflies and floral patterns on it, and then on the back, it's just classic black and white. Such a beautiful paper, I love it. There are some things that I want to show you about this DSP, because there are some things that you may not realize, but first let's talk about this bundle. Okay, so this is a bundle that is available in the Occasions catalog. However, the punch is on back order until the beginning of April. And actually they turned off the number this morning at 10 a.m. So I had already planned my Facebook Live, so I apologize if you do not own this bundle. You cannot order it as a bundle at the moment. You can get the stamp set, but the punch is not available right now. Because they had so many back orders, they turned off the number until the stock comes back in. So it will become available again sometime in the beginning of April, and I will try to keep you guys updated on that. Okay, this crooked sign is gonna drive me absolutely bonkers. Okay, so I wanted to give you the heads up on that. So I apologize that I'm using product that isn't quite available just yet, or at the moment, but you know what? It is what it is. It's beautiful, and you can add it to your wish list and order it a little bit later. Hey Beth, how are you today? Okay, so now before we get started on the project, I wanted to share a few little tips on this DSP. So I shared all of the patterns here. So we've got lots of beautiful color on one side and then classic black and white on the other side. But one thing that you may not realize is that this punch actually coordinates with the DSP. So you can punch out butterflies using this punch. So you can see that that's there. Now, a little tip, you can see that because it's got the 2 butterflies on it, when you go to punch it, if you leave it whole like this, you're punching into another butterfly. So a little tip is to just cut out, if you do a couple butterflies, then at least you have something to hang on to. So now I can punch out, and I'm not wasting any butterflies. I'm not punching into something else. Okay, so now I've got a beautiful butterfly that I can use on a project. Now for this one, because it's going in a different direction, I can't just hang on and line it up, right? So what you can do is if you cut this off, and then, just need to grab something I forgot to grab here. And then if you grab just a strip of cardstock, put a tiny little bit of adhesive on it, attach it. Shara says, for the first time ever, I have the supplies you're using. Yay! Okay, then you can easily hang on to that without trying to have to fiddle with it and line it up. So now I'm lining it up. Okay, and punch it out. So then this piece can just go in the garbage. You'll end up with a little piece of white on the back, which you can peel off, or you can leave, it doesn't matter. Peel it off and you've got a perfectly good butterfly. So there's a little tip on whenever you have just pieces that are a little bit too small, that don't quite, you can't hold to line up in your punch, that's a little tip for you. Okay, and then these butterflies, these are beautiful. You can cut these out as is, but if you are not into fussy cutting, because I know a lot of people are not into fussy cutting, what you can do is you can line it up and you can punch out a butterfly. So you're cutting out of a lot of the pieces, a lot of the butterfly. Let me just, I don't want to cut into the other butterflies. I don't want to waste some perfectly good butterflies. Okay, so let's see, is this long enough for me to hold? It's easy enough for me to position. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of centering the body, where the body of the punch shape is, and then I'll punch it out. And then you have a really pretty butterfly. So that's another way that you can do it if you do not like fussy cutting. And then again, this paper here, this black and white paper, this one also coordinates with the punch as well. And a little trick that I learned actually from my friend Donna is this little punch. See how some of these butterflies are right on the edge? What you can do is you can slide them in and punch out the little butterfly from the bigger one. So again, I'm just centering that body. And then I have a cute little butterfly. All right, so there's some tips on this DSP and the punch that is not available at the moment. But that's okay, you can add it to your wish list if you don't have it. And I'll let you know when it's in. Okay, you can even let me know that you want to add it in, and I can personally send you an email when it's available. All right, so you ready to see what we're creating today? We are doing this little mini album, and it's created from one sheet of patterned paper. So I've got the Hello Beautiful on the outside, and then you flip it open. This is a pocket. I did stick this down because I wanted some contrast back there. So it is stuck down. You can add a photo to it. You can add a tag inside. You can add a little note and then open it up again. And then there are 3 flaps. And again, these are stuck down, but there's pockets. So like I said, you can add a message in there. You can add photos, tags, whatever you'd like. So how I'm using this is I plan on using this for my daughter. She is turning 20. Can you believe that? In March. Crazy. And hey, Tracy. And so anyways, so I was going to take a photo or pull out photos that I have of her with her dad, her with her brother, and her with me, and include those in here, and then each one of us would write a special message to her. So something along the lines of, you know, what we love about her, you know, just letting her know that we love her, and include those in there. And I thought it would be a great keepsake. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you how this is created. We are using this beautiful pattern from the Botanical Butterfly stamp set. We're gonna pull out our Simply Scored board. You can use your paper cutter for this as well. And we are gonna do some scoring. So let me think here. Okay, so we are gonna do, first score line is, I need to get my little cheat sheet over here, is 4 inches. And I'm gonna score it all the way down. And 8 1/4. And I skipped some here. We wanna do 3 7/8. 3 7/8 and 4 inches. And then 8 inches and 8 1/4. I've got them written in a different way than I normally write them, so it kind of confused me. Okay, so score lines are 3 7/8 and 4 inches, 8 inches and 8 1/4. And then I'm gonna rotate it 1/4 of a turn, and I'm going to score it at 2 inches and 8 inches. Okay, and we're done with this. So we can move that out of the way. Now we are going to do some cutting. So it's hard to see. I wonder if you can see on this side a little bit better. So there are 2 narrow strips here, one here, and then down here. We want to cut out those narrow strips. Okay. And again, you can use your paper cutter for this. You just want to go up to the score line. I should have had one of these done, because now you're going to watch me cut here for a little while. So cut up to the score line and then snip this piece right out. And then you're going to do the same for this one. This is much easier if you have longer bladed scissors. So what do you guys have planned for this weekend? Anything fun? We are having my in-laws over for dinner tomorrow night. Nathan's got exams. He's in the middle of exams. That's why I had to do Facebook Live a little bit early today. He had an exam this morning, so I need to pick him up by 11:30. He's got another one on Monday. so he'll be studying. I believe Jordan has a test on Monday as well. So it'll be quiet in the house. Everybody's studying for exams. That'll mean that Mom gets lots of crafting time. Mary Liz says, revamp of craft room to accommodate new table. Fun. I always like to reorganize. I love doing that. Great opportunity to clean, purge, and organize. Is anybody watching that tidying up with Marie Kondo? Marie, I can't remember her last name now. The KonMari method. Is anybody watching that on Netflix? I had read her book a couple years ago and I had done a big purge, but now watching it, I love how she folds. Like, it's hard to envision it when you're reading a book. Shara says, oh, Leanne says home reno show. Oh, fun. That's always fun to get lots of ideas and some scrapbooking. Good. Shara, the kids have entered a Lego competition, so we get to go to that tomorrow. Oh, that sounds like fun. So did they have to build things and they contribute? Oh, you watched it, Kathy? Isn't it great? Okay, so now we're gonna fold along all our score lines. And, oh, I wanna fold this way. I want my green pattern to be out. Where's my gold folder? Okay. So I'm just gonna fold and lightly burnish. I don't wanna push too hard. With DSP, I never like to push too hard because I'm always afraid that it's going to crack. So you can see how it's kind of coming together now. Okay, and then we will fold in this way. Oh, are you grandmaing this weekend, Tracy? That's fun. Okay, and then I'll fold this one in. My daughter, Beth says, my daughter is, and my 4-year-old grandson is more than willing to purge his older sister stuff, yeah. Shara says, yes, they build their creations and enter it into their age category, just at our community center. Cool. Does your school have like a Lego robotics program? Because that's, Ethan was never into Lego, but then he joined Lego Robotics, and now that he's in high school, he's on the robotics team, and he's loving it. That might be something that they're interested in, especially if they like Lego. So I forgot to do this extra little score line in here, so I'm just folding along those. Once you've done all the scoring and folding and stuff, this album comes together really quickly. Oh my gosh, this one's finicky. There we go. For some reason that doesn't seem to be very straight. There we go. Okay, so now this is what we have. And these 2-inch flaps at the bottom are going to fold up to create our pockets. The best adhesive for that is Stampin' Up! Origami. Yeah, that's right. Is Tombow. You can use other adhesive, but I find that your pocket ends up being a little bit bigger if you use Tombow adhesive, because then you've just got that narrow strip. Okay, so obviously you only want to put adhesive down the 2 sides, not at the top, because you don't want to seal your pocket closed. Let's do this side first. So you're going to do that for all 3 of them. Okay, so now we've got our pockets. I'm just gonna gonna set something on there while we move on to the next step here. Make sure that that sets. Okay, let me grab some pieces here. Now what I've done is I have three pieces of lemon lime twist cardstock. They measure 3 by 4 inches, and I'm just going to tuck them. I'm gonna put adhesive on the back because I wanted there to be a little bit of color in behind. So I might do tags to tuck in here and add photos to a tag, or I might actually add the photo right onto here. I'm not sure, I haven't decided. So I'll figure that out when we get to that point. But I'm just gonna add a little bit of adhesive behind just so those don't slide down. So that's why I only did it 4 inches, was just, so it's just enough to just tuck into that pocket. You can't tell how long it is. So it just conserves cardstock. So I'm gonna do that for all 3 pockets. And I'm just kind of looking at those score lines and lining it up so that it's a relatively even border on all 3 sides. And so that they're even at the top as well. Okay. That looks all right, I think. Okay, and then we're gonna fold these flaps down and we're gonna decorate this panel here. So what I've done is I've taken one of our colored doilies. So these come in 4 colors, I believe, in a package of 4 different colors. There's Coastal Cabana, Grapefruit Grove, Old Olive, maybe it's only 3 colors. That's all that I can remember. So I'm gonna use that. Let's set this aside for just a second. And then I've punched out a 2-inch black circle and a 1 3/4 inch lemon lime twist circle. And this I've gone ahead and embossed using the subtle embossing folder. And I'm just going to add adhesive just to the top part of this. Stick this on here. That's not very straight. So I'm trying to get it kind of in the center. And then I'll add adhesive to this guy. Stick him in the middle. And then we're going to bring back our mini album and we are going to stick that on here. So, and I'm only gonna add adhesive to the top half because I don't want to seal my flap closed. And I'm putting it a little bit, not quite in the center, a little bit closer to the top, okay? And then I've got a strip of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to pull in the words that say a little note and some Memento black ink. Yeah, it is a pretty color combo, hey? My daughter loves the color, kind of like anything that's kind of remotely turquoisey. She loves those colors. And I thought it looked really good with the green, so. Okay, so I've got a little note. So that's where, that center pocket is where I'll tuck all the messages. And then I'm just gonna angle cut the sides. And bring this back in and we're gonna pop this up using dimensionals. And stick it right on the center, right in the center. Okay, we'll add a butterfly on there in a little bit. Now I'm going to close it like this and we're gonna work on this panel. So I have a piece of, this is another piece of the DSP. This measures 2 inches by 3 5/8. and I'm gonna create my pocket, an additional pocket on here. So again, I'm gonna use my Tombow. And this time I'm gonna put adhesive on the two sides and the bottom. And stick this right in the center with an even border all the way around. And then I've got a 3x4 inch piece of basic black cardstock. Hey Andrew, happy you can join us. And I'm going to add adhesive. So just like I did with the lemon lime twist cardstock, I'm just gonna add this in the pocket for a little bit of contrast. And again, center it. Just like that. And, oh, you know what I forgot to do? Nuts. Okay, this piece is supposed to be on here. Okay, well, not on this one. So I had that little scalloped piece on there that I had stuck to the back of this before I put that on. So that will not be on this version of it. Okay, so we will add our butterfly once we get the butterflies done. Okay, so now you'll see that, just fix this here. This is just a tad short, so we are gonna fix that. So we're gonna make it so that it does not look short. So I've got a piece of basic black cardstock. I am going to use my Be Mine stitched framelits, and I'm gonna use this scallop stitched border, and I'm gonna cut that out. I love this border. I have been using it on everything. So I'm pulling in my Big Shot, and I've just got a long strip of black cardstock, and I'll just set that on there. Add the top to it. Okay, that guy out of the way. So I'll pop that out, and you can see you've got this beautiful scallop border, but with the stitching. So I'm going to snip the ends. It cuts about a 6-inch length, which is more than we need, I believe. Or it might be just what we need. I can't remember. Okay, and then this piece is going to go on here. So what I will do is add adhesive on here and line it up so it just lines up with this edge, just like that. Okay, yeah, so it's just the right length. Okay, so make sure this is straight. That on there so it lines up right with the edge. And then we are going to add a piece of lemon lime twist over top, like that. And that's just to clean up that edge just a little bit. So you can have as much of that black showing as you'd like. I just want a tiny little bit, so I'm trying to make it even so that there's even space between the stitching and where the green starts. And then we can trim this off. So this album you could do with any DSP that you have. It would be cute if you did it. Oh, I thought yesterday I was working with that How Sweet It Is. You know, the candy themed, the cupcake themed, the sweet treat themed DSP. This would be really cute done out of that. Okay, all right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start decorating our front. Now, on my quest to use up some of the pieces that I had already pre-cut from different projects, this heart is actually this one cut out, so I'm going to use that. I already had it cut out. This particular one was another one. It was this one that I had already cut out. So I used that one on this. So we are gonna bring in the Hello Beautiful and the Memento ink again. Yeah, the gummy bear paper, Mary Liz. That one would be super cute with done in a little album. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp that in the center of my heart. Just like that. And pull this back in. I'm going to adhere it with dimensionals. Okay, that's gonna get stuck on here. So it's a little bit bigger than the other one, but it'll still look good. Okay, and then we're gonna do our butterflies. So I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I've got my butterflies, and I am using this combo of butterflies. So what I love is the stamp actually has both of them, so it's really easy to line up with the punch. I'm gonna grab my foam mat. I always like to have one of these when I'm stamping on, you're stamping with photopolymer. And I am using Coastal Cabana ink. Ink up my butterflies. Aren't they pretty? So pretty. Okay, so if you're duplicating this album, you'll want to do that twice, but I've got another set that's already punched out. So, okay, so now they do have bodies that you can stamp, but what I like to do is I like to punch first and then stamp the bodies afterwards. Because, well, you'll see why in a minute. If I were to stamp the bodies, because they're just these tiny little sprigs that you would stamp in black, you don't know how high or how low they need to be, so you're not exactly sure on the positioning. So if you punch first, I should have punched on the other side. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so see how it gives us the space where you need to stamp the body. Okay, so now I can bring in my black ink, and there's two separate bodies. There's one for the little butterfly, and I'm going to stamp it. There we go. And then we need the bigger body for the bigger butterfly. I'm sorry if my head is in the way. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, before we stick our butterflies on, we are going to curl up the wings using the bone folder. And I've got two other ones that are already stamped and punched. Okay, so we're gonna take some silver thread, and we're going to add just a little bit of silver in behind one of the big butterflies. So I'm just gonna wrap this around my fingers a few times and then trim it. And then I will add just a little bit of adhesive behind my butterfly. Oh, maybe a little bit more than that. And I will stick that. And that's the wrong side. I need it on the other side. So let's peel it off, stick it this way. And then I can kind of fuss with the positioning of it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we need a little dimensional on here because I'm going to position him kind of right on the edge. So it'll be flat adhesive on the one side, but then it's popped up because the heart is popped up on this side. So I'm just gonna trim around the outer edge and add a dimensional on this side. And then add the pretty little butterfly on there. And then we're gonna add a little one up here. So I'll just use regular adhesive for that. And then we're gonna pull in some of the Gingham Gala self-adhesive sequins. So these come in 5 different colors to match the Gingham Gala. So there's a purple, there's a pink, there's a yellow, there's a green, and a blue. And you get a combination of circle sequins and floral sequins. And this is my gift for this week. If you place an order in my online store using this hostess code, and it's $50 or more, then you will get half a package of these sequins included in with your thank you card as my gift to you. Okay, I just needed to grab my paper piercer. So we're going to use just the circle sequence, and we're gonna add them on here. Just like that. Okay, and then we're gonna open the book and we're gonna add this butterfly right here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of adhesive on the back of him. He'll just be flat. And then we'll open it up one more time and we're going to add the little butterfly right here. So again, I'm gonna use a little piece of a dimensional. And I'm at the top here. And put him right on there. And there we go. It's all done. So let's close it up and have another look. So that's it closed. And like I said, you could use this as a card. You could just write some messages or include photos in there. So that's how I plan on using it. And open it up again. And then we've got our flaps. The other thing that you could do is this would be a great embellishment on a scrapbook page. So if you're a scrapbooker, you could add this to a scrapbook page with a photo and then just slit your page protector so that you can open it up and have a look afterwards. So I thought after I give it to Jordan and after she keeps it for a little while, I might actually get it back from her and add it to a scrapbook page with a photo of her from her birthday and put it in her scrapbook album, because that way it keeps, I love to keep as much as I can in their albums because then they're in a safe place and everything is all in one location. So any kind of special messages that they get like from their grandparents or anything like that, I try to include in their album. So I thought that this would be a great keepsake. All right, well, thanks for all the love, guys. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and I actually might turn around and make something that's a little bit more boyish using the same pattern, because I mean this, although this is really pretty, it wouldn't work necessarily for a boy. All right, so thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous weekend. Remember that if you place an order between today and the 31st of January, then you'll get half a package of these self-adhesive Gingham Gala sequins. And, oh, Kathy says, please feel free to draw another person's name. I didn't need to win. I don't need to win every week. Okay, I will do that. I've got everybody's name in here. So let's see. Mary Liz. Mary Liz, you're the lucky winner. All right. Okay, so I will set that aside for you. Thank you, Kathy, for allowing us to do that. And I will chat with you all next week. February 1st, I think next week that's Friday. It's crazy, February already. Okay, take care.